to introduce yourselves. Okay, Leticia, could you introduce yourself to us, please?
Okay, my name is Leticia. I live in Porto Alegre, and I'm 39 years old, and I'm a software developer, and I have some hobbies, or I don't know, some customer specific things when I was working, for example, is listening to music.
I am guilty as well. I love listening to music while working.
Yes, it's good, and I think it's my create imaginative, or I don't know, I create more code when I was listening to music.
Yes, I think like sometimes we're trying to focus on something and our brain's trying to like do a second activity and we lose the focus. I think music helps us to like zone out of this.
Yes, you just listen the other sounds around you. For example, you more concentrate. And in my case, I have a bus. And when I listen to music, I doesn't listen in my bus. And I pay attention when I think in my mind about this project, about this work specifically.
That's awesome. That's really cool. It's awesome. I feel first thing I open in my computer every morning is YouTube music. Awesome. What about you, Juliana? Can you introduce yourself to us, please?
Sure. My name is Juliana, but my friends and the older people called me Ju. Ju or Julie. I'm living in Belo Horizonte. I like to listen music too, like Leticia. But when I'm working, depends the activity. I like to listen music or not, but I like to listen music when I relax in my room, and I turn off the light, and I just listen music, and I like to lay down on in my bedroom and just relax. And now I'm in transitional career. I'm journalist, but I'm go to a law career. I did I did two postgraduate and one in data protection. The other, it's business and negotiation. And now I'm studying law business and consumer consumer. I don't know if I say this. I think law consumer.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's great. Just putting a little bit more in the subject of music here before we get into the main topic. That must be something really cool, like laying in your bed, everything dark, just listening to music. What kind of music do you listen to relax?
When I'm working, I like to listen blue, and I'm relaxed blue and the Germanic music and the different styles, the music, but more relaxed music.
Perfect. That's amazing. Really good. I love blues. Blues is really great. And what about you, Leticia? What music do you work to and relax to?
Okay. I listen music a lot, okay, and I like the rock, and but depends the situation. For example, when I need to read or I need more concentrate, I listen instrumental music. I like orchestra when the orchestra plays the rock, for example, and sometimes I like jazz because I think it's different when you need to read or specific concentration when people sing with the music, and I prefer just instrumental music at the moment. In this moment, for example.
Yeah, the voice takes your attention off the thing.
Yes, the voice, the lyric is disconcentrate me sometimes, and I prefer instrumental music. It depends the situation.
I feel you. Perfect. Very good. Good. All right. I'm going to introduce myself as well. I'm Junior Rufino. I am 21 years old. I was going to try a career in technology, which is the topic we're going to talk about here today. But I ended up actually trying to change for publicity, but people in college, they just don't want to answer my emails. So apparently I'm going to have to go there to try and change my course. But yeah, programming, computer engineering didn't work for me so well. And I've been working with marketing for the past 2 years. So just going to follow that. I listen to music a lot, pretty much all day long. Usually when I'm relaxing or doing something, I listen to music like indie music. Sometimes I feel like folk rock and pop. And usually when I'm working, I try to listen to music that's more like older music, or blues, jazz, some classic music from the 80s and 90s, because musics from nowadays, they focus too much on the beat, and the beat usually distracts us. So I usually listen like ABBA or Frank Sinatra, this kind of things to work. And I say that my neighbors must think a 40-year person lives here, because I spent the entire day listening to this kind of songs. And that's pretty much it. So what are we going to do right now? I'm gonna send you the questions in the chat. And we already did number 1, which was to introduce yourself, talk a little bit about your hobbies. Now, number 2. Juliana, what's your area? You talked a little bit about this already, but what's your area of expertise within technology?
Especially area protection. I work with the regulation and they use the data.
Awesome. That's really cool. Do you usually work for companies, for personal clients, for?
At the moment, I'm beginning, and I forgot the word. I talk with the clients, and at the moment, at not big companies.
All right, like to like regular people, right? Doing consulting and helping.
Yes, like independent professionals, like lawyers, of course, and the stylist. We work with fashion.
Awesome. It's really cool. And what about you, Leticia? What's your area of expertise within technology?
My expertise is a back-end development, because I work a lot years with this, and I like this part. And it's a backstage, for example, of all the digital projects. And I like when you create a services and how they communication, how transform the information. And for me, it's a different when you work as a mobile or a web development, for example. it's different kinds of the technologies and the frameworks when you use it, but I prefer more the backend development because it's my background.
Awesome. Is the basis of the project that it's the main part of the project that nobody sees, right?
Yes. If you think how the software it's make easier for people, you sometimes people don't understand that there is a lot of things behind this to move many information and to change and the many communications, and I like to work in this part.
Perfect, very good. All righty. Well, my area of expertise within technology is using it. I don't know how to program this kind of stuff. I would say my area of expertise within technology will be more like usage of programs. I edit videos. I use social media a lot. Also, a little bit working with data, and because I've been running marketing here on Talk and Talk, so data, some forgot the word, metrics and this kind of stuff. I've been learning actually because I don't master any of it. I never studied or anything. So that's my area of expertise in technology, social media, data, websites, this kind of stuff. But I wouldn't say it's expertise, it's just the area I use the most. Perfect. Now, Leticia, you said you've been working a long time with technology, especially backend. How did you start your career in technology?
Okay. When I started career in my technology, it was a hardware support, okay, in 2001. It's a long time ago. And the internet, for example, it's a dialogue, the dialogue internet, okay, it's a long time ago. And I changed it when I was working this at the time. I changed my career and to development because I was too interested in how to build the new softwares. When I learned this at the course, I'm so crazy in how to create the software. Oh, it's amazing, and it's a magical for me. And I started this in 2005, and I'm here at the moment.
You jump like 17 years, I'm here.
It's yes, probably. I think 70 years working as a technology. Oh my God, it's a long time. The environment about the technology is totally different. The how to use the technology now and how to build and how to think about the technology, it's totally different in the past. Oh. And I'm seeing now to cross the line about the different transformations of how to use the technology.
Yes, and a lot changed in 2005. I don't even, there weren't smartphones yet.
No, I think it's 2007. No, the cell phone in these times, it's a Nokia, a specific little Nokia, and the others, sometimes the BlackBerry, there is a pen when you put specific apps, but don't have a smartphone, doesn't have the smartphone thing. Oh, it's totally different now.
Oh my God, that's very crazy.
And the process to build a software, oh, it's totally different. I build a software to a desktop like Windows, like Windows and a Windows system operation, for example. Now the web.
Now people are like, Java? Come on.
No, I studied Java in this time, but it's in the other hand, in the other part of my life.
Oh, so that's really cool. And what about you, Juliana? How did you start? Went from journalism, like, okay, I'm gonna go for law and technology.
Yeah, I'm. I always liked law, but when I'm studying in the college, some uh, some topics I don't like it, and I talked with the older uh, lawyer, and he worked with the law and the technology. And at the moment, I in the end the course law, I you I you I did two courses, the programming, but not for me to be a programmer, just to understand the language and they understand the job they developing professional. And I I learned about the agile agile methodology, and it's pretty important to project in law. And the journalism, I use it the the similar agile methodology, and this background helped me to do my job today.
That's great. Yeah, like you've got all this background in other areas and other things you did that also fits into what you're doing right now, and that's pretty cool. But why did you like decide, no, I'm going for data protection? Why did you decide these areas specifically?
Because I I don't like too much the traditional law, and I'm not identify and I identify more technology. And I'm not good to be a programmer. And I'm good for law. I'm a good for communication. And I think the better way for me it's work with it's a work with data protection. It's more identified with my profile.
That's perfect. That's really cool. You joined two things you liked, but you were more of a lawyer than you went for a less traditional kind of law, right? That's pretty cool. That's amazing. All righty. Now, I feel here that I'm talking to two people with a lot of experience, with a lot of study, because I know you two studied a lot to be where you are right now. And just Leticia was talking about how much she saw changed in technology since it started. It started way too long ago, but since the 2000s, let's say, in the last 20 years. And what do girls think about technology in the last 20 years? What happened? Do you feel it's growing too fast? Do you think it has a lot of potential still? Do you think it was something good, something bad? How do you see, Juliana, this past 20 years of technological evolution?
I think it changed too much, and I think the people need to to study about the changes. In the last year, I did one course about the regulation and the metaverse. I think it's the thing is changing, and they we need to understand the change and be part of the change. If you don't story, if you don't following the word, you too bad. I talked with a lawyer and a student lawyer. She's don't know to use word. I don't know why how you can don't use word. You in the what in the world you live.
How does she write and print stuff, right?
In now she's studying, and because the pandemic it's online. I don't know. Probably she depends completely the older people to do the things for her. And I think this, of course, not all lower. It's like her, but I think in the area the people just think about the law. You need to think the older things happens in the world.
Yeah, law is indeed a very, let's say, restrict profession, I guess. Not a lot of lawyers. I don't know. It's one of those professions that is still very, I can't find a word for this in English. Help me.
I don't know. But for your movement, I can't stand.
Yeah, but it hasn't changed much. Law is still very classical, let's say, right? Alrighty. What about you, Leticia? What do you think about this past 20 years of technological evolution?
Okay, I think I think the technology changed a lot. Now, in my opinion, when you talk about the specific development system, it's easier compared to the past, but there is a lot of tools and the more complexity, okay, now compare in the past. But if I think about this, I see many times when the hardware is too fast, faster than software, and the other times the software too faster than hardware, for example. And now I think there is other change when the technology it's across other areas, and the other areas cross the technology. Okay, for example, the Juliana studied laws, and she connect with her experience, expertise with the technology. And in my opinion, at the moment, it's when you understand this cross, the internet, the interconnection about this, you create many possibilities when you how to use the technology and how the technology can improve yourself, your life, or can easier your the life of the peoples in general, for example. But it's a big challenge. You are muted.
I was muted. No, that's true. And nowadays there are some professions that are impossible to imagine. Some professions wouldn't exist without technology, and some professions are really difficult to think about without using computers. For example, the supermarket, the most basic things. Imagine what supermarkets would be like without the systems that run them. The storage control system, the sales control system, the employees control system, everything.
And when you talk about this, for example, I think the financial system, for example, when I started study technology, and I remember the financial system, it's totally different. When I was a kid, it's too amazing for me in the bank to get a receipt, a long line of receipt, for example, because I make them, I access the machine, for example, in the bank, and now you don't imagine you in a bank get a money or pay your bills in a bank. It's impossible to do this. It's easier to use the cell phone.
Yeah, stay in the lotérica line, $1.5.
Yes, yes, because older people, oldest people use this, I think. For example, when I think my mother, she don't use the technology, she don't understand how to use this. She prefer the lotérica. Okay, but I think there is other gap about how to use the technology when you grow up using this, when you didn't grow up using this.
There's that. There really is that. It's so good. Usually I work on Saturdays in the morning. I go presentially to a freelance work I've got, and I usually go early. And sometimes I pass in front of the lottery, and there are some people waiting. It's like the lottery opens up at 9. There are some people waiting online at 8. I'm like, and it's funny. Alrighty.
My neighbor, she's pretty young, maybe 22 years, and she just paid the bills and the lottery. I said for her, why you don't use your cell phone? And she said to me, download the app, the bank. I don't know.
She goes to the lottery every time.
Yes, and she print the bill, go to the lottery.
Oh my gosh. That must be funny. Yes, it's really weird. I don't remember the last time I've been to lottery to pay something.
And she's a student. She's studying in the university.
Probably using the computer to watch classes.
Yes, she's studying the UFMG.
Oh, FMG. Thanks. I always wanted to study in FMG. But it's very difficult. All right. Very good. Now, I want to go with you girls to question number 5 in here. Julie, what has been your biggest professional challenge in the technology area so far? Or what has been your biggest professional challenge with technology?
Actually, I don't know to respond to this question because there are many challenges in the daily, and the things change too much, and I don't know really what big challenge.
All right, that's good. Thanks. What is the word? It means that you're keeping up. You're keeping up with new technology and learning how to use things as they come. So you don't have many big troubles with using technology because as they come, you're learning how to use them and, keeping up. That's really good. What about you, Leticia? What has been your biggest professional challenge in technology?
In general, I think the communication is the big challenge because if I think specifically the communication, I work the small companies and I work at big companies, and this is a big problem almost of the time, for example, because when you talk the people and people don't understand how the technology works or how your job, your work works, for example, it's different, and you need to explain with different examples or different concerns, for example. I worked as a constant company for a long time, and the parts of my job is to talk to the stakeholders, and some stakeholders not tech people, but they understand their process, but don't understand how do my work, or specifically my work, because, for example, I'm not a front-end developer, I'm a back-end developer, and sometimes the persons don't see how impact my work does in the process in general. And I need to improve my communication and explain with many examples. And the communication in general, it's a big challenge, and it's continuous the challenge.
Yeah, because that's one thing. The client, the stakeholder is like, okay, I want a big colorful thing that spins in the system. And you're like, okay, given the specificities around the programming language and what the structure we've been using, not really possible. And the person doesn't understand, right?
Yes, and for example, the classical sentence I listen a lot. It's just a button in the frame, for example. It's not just a button. Button, it's the easy part for the customer when they click. When they click this, it's around a lot of things behind them to work the process.
It is not just a button. It's a 15-line conditional structure. Okay, it's not just a button. It's an if, else. It's not a button.
Sometimes if, sometimes one if, and else just doesn't work. It needs to process more.
Exactly. Yeah, very big, very big. For me, the biggest challenge with the technology area so far has been trying to study technology. I love technology. I think programming is really great, but I'm not a very, how do I say? I'm not a very consistent person, and technology is always changing, is always evolving. There's a lot of new stuff. And it's the kind of thing you have to learn and practice. It's not just studying coding. You have to practice. You have to make some systems, some examples, do exercises. And I'm not a very good student. So the biggest challenge for me in technology has been trying to learn technology. I pretty much gave up for now because I'm abandoning computer engineering, going for publicity. I plan on studying technology, on going back to studying technology in the future, learning how to make some programs, a few programming languages, because I think it's really useful. But the biggest challenge for me, it's been like a few years ago when I started studying, people said Python was the best of any programming languages. Nowadays, it's not anymore. And I'm like, what do we do? So that will be it. Which brings us to question number 6, which is, you've been for some time in the game, how do you keep up with the latest trends and technologies?
It's the hard part. Okay. Now I use more the YouTube videos, for example, to learn or to understand the new technology. But now when I see my career and I understand it's the base of the concept. It's good. When you learn different languages or different frameworks, when you don't understand how to use this to solve the problems, okay, it's the other part, but it's complex to understand all the technologies and all the frameworks, all the languages. I think because this change fast, and it's important to maintain the focus. For example, I like the back end software development, and I learn more about this, and I use the courses, the books, and sometimes the YouTube videos when I need to learn fast, specifically concept, for example. But you need to, I don't know, to maintain your focus when you, and how it's important for you and your career, and it's create a challenge for you. I think it's more important because you dedicate a time, you spend the time when you learn, and you learn anything in different times or not a consistently learning. It's probably you forget or you confused and how parts you to use in your career, for example.
Yeah, exactly. You needed a lot of focus and consistency. Sometimes you're going to end up watching some video from an Indian guy on YouTube, but most of the time, focus and keep studying. That's really important. But YouTube videos, they save when the deadline's coming. And Stack Overflow. GitHub. Just kidding. But yeah, what you said is really important. And what about you, Juliana? How do you keep up with the latest trends and technologies?
I don't know, talk about this exactly. I think Leticia talked better because she works specifically with the technology, but I see at the moment the people use it in intelligence artificial to do working, to write things, use the artificial tests. And I like it for journalists. I think it's complicated for my colleagues, and I don't know. I think a long time. Do you remember the fight in the Boate Kiss?
Yes, I do. Actually, Netflix is releasing a series about this, a movie.
I don't know. I saw in the news the photo, the banda Kiss, the band Kiss, to talk about the fire in the kids 10 years ago. 10 years ago. I who did this? The machine or the people chose the strong wrong? And I don't know. I think it's not respected the people. I think it is. And I big website news. It's not one blogueiro. It's a big site.
Exactly. It's not like, one person writing on a blog and something like that, or Twitter is like a website, a news source, right? So that's serious. But that's actually something that I was talking about this week, because I'm starting to write some articles for Talk and Talk on LinkedIn. And a person this week told me, oh, I found this because Canva, do girls know Canva? The website. Canva now has like a new AI feature that you can like, oh, write me a text about this. And then the AI writes the entire text. And a person told me, oh, no, you should use it to write articles. And I think it's really cool. It's really amazing that we can do it. But like, I don't feel good as a writer, because I want the people who are reading what I wrote to, one, trust the source, because I don't know what the computers are going to put in there. I don't know if it's reliable. And I really want them to, I want to know that what the people are reading, something I really put effort on, I researched about, and that's something that is going to help them, truly help them. So this part of like computers writing the news and articles and this kind of stuff, I don't feel very comfortable with that as well. I don't think it's something really good. Because as I said, for a computer to, a computer can think cases, the band, and then like, create a lot of misunderstandings and fake news and this kind of stuff. I don't think it's the best option, But it's what we have. Nowadays, as you said, the change comes and we kind of have to adapt to it, right?
Yes, I think the technology and it's at the time it's the other big challenge, the other big movement about the technology when you talk about the artificial intelligence, for example, and we live in the moment and how to understand how the possibility, how to use this, and the impact with this in our life, and include the laws, the laws about this, and the other things. But it's I don't know the names. Sometimes people, it's heavy user to when you talk about artificial intelligence, and the other people think it's okay. I don't know how the new steps about this, and the other people's hate this. But it's I think at the moment it's a process, and how to understand and how to use this. But I understand when Julia said about the people and the artificial intelligence, because it's a area to, it's when you talk about the feelings of the people, it's I don't know the names in English, but sensible sensibility about this. You are mute.
Yeah. So for us to finish, I want to know, really, are you artificial intelligence enthusiast or no?
Yes, I'm an enthusiast. I think the technology is important to the life, to development the world, the how do you say the more competitive and the business. But I think we need to talk about the future, to how they impacting their life, the people. Do you know the city? The city is better than us.
I think so.
Yeah, it's a pretty good series, and talk about this topic. And I think in the series, for example, the robots, the bots, doing all things the people could be to do, and they don't have to like a previdência social, I don't know the name, and they impact the life of the people, in the law, in the better, the bots vote to better the life, but who lives? The poor people or rich people? I think there are ethic topics.
Great. Yes, ethics pretty matter. Okay. I won't say much because I also want to know about Leticia. So, Leticia, are you artificial intelligence enthusiast?
I don't know if I answered the question correctly, because I understand this process. I understand how to use parts of this, but when you talk the artificial intelligence and the life of the people, I think it's uncomfortable to talk about this, okay? But I know the artificial intelligence one day help more people in many things, but there is a specific part to understand and talk more, and talk a lot, and how to use this. Don't fear other people's, for example, or don't classify wrong people's about how to use this, for example, create different segments in the population in general, for example.
Yes, that is kind of really difficult. We did an immersion talking about artificial intelligence. Actually, I don't remember if it was an immersion or a class, but it was exactly about like the mistakes artificial intelligence can make, and the dangers, but also the good side of and the process of it. It was really interesting. If it was an immersion, I think I'll try to bring back the questions so we can use it again. We can discuss more about that. And I took a look at the show you mentioned, Juliana. I want to watch it. It seems to be really cool. Better than this.
What's the name of the show? Better Than Us. Okay.
Yes. I was seeing the pictures here on Google. It looks really cool. I'm gonna take a look. So thank you for the, what's the name? Yeah, forgetting things today. Suggestion. Thank you for the suggestion. Girls, it's time for us to leave. Go ahead.
Okay.
I think somebody was gonna say something, so
no.
I would like to say These questions, it's different, the site, but I like it too much, the questions, and I'm feel confident with you. I like it, your immersion. It's my first time with you. Thank you.
I'm really happy that you enjoyed. Really, really. It's nice to know about that. And if you wanna, I don't know how you are in the afternoons, but I usually do immersions on Friday at 1. So if you want to talk more, you can come. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you a lot. Have an amazing night and